Right friends, welcome back to comprehension and vocabulary 42nd session. As already announced, today our discussion is on privacy law, Aadhaar Act and privacy law. Tomorrow we are going to deliberate on a timely step, today's The Hindu editorial, and here time to bring in a tough privacy law. The basic crux of this article is nowadays more and more issues are being linked with Aadhaar number. That is fine. In fact, when it is linked with the direct benefit transfers, then government can save lot of money, true beneficiary can be identified, loopholes can be plugged, these are all fine. But the point is, what about the privacy law? And each and every information of individuals is tracked. What will happen to my biological information? What will happen to the data? If some organization started selling this data for monetary gain, where is the privacy left for me? So, these are all the issues which are to be answered by the government, and here time to bring in a tough privacy law. And in fact, this Aadhaar was created around 7-8 years ago with executive order, and after 5-6 years this Aadhaar Act was brought, and this Aadhaar Act was brought in 2016, and this UIDAI, Unique Identification Authority of India, is the organization which issues Aadhaar cards, or you can say Aadhaar numbers. And if you look at various privacy issues as per the Aadhaar Act, first of all you should understand what are various privacy issues as per Aadhaar Act. This section 7 says that proof of Aadhaar is necessary for receipt of certain subsidies, benefits and services, and here based on this section 7, government is now extending the use of Aadhaar to many schemes. Recently government made it mandatory to link Aadhaar with this PAN number, or you can say from July 1 onwards, for getting PAN card you must give Aadhaar number. That is one thing. Second thing is, for filing income tax returns from 1st July 2017, Aadhaar number is a must, and similarly it is extended for applications, scholarships, benefit schemes. Tomorrow it is going to be implemented for fertilizer subsidy. So, under section 7, government is increasing the reach of Aadhaar. Then section 29(4), this is a data protection clause. Section 29(4) is the data protection clause in Aadhaar, which says no Aadhaar number or biometric information will be made public except for the purposes as may be specified by the regulations. So, this 29(4) gives some sort of privacy. You can say no Aadhaar number or biometric information will be made public. Then section 33 says the confidentiality clause can be violated in the name of national security. If national security issues are concerned, the official not below the rank of joint secretary to the government will order the information, and otherwise this section 29(4) says it is confidential. But section 33 says its confidentiality can be broken in the case of national security issue is involved, and that has to come from an official who is not below the rank of a joint secretary to the government. Right. Supreme Court also expressed concerns about privacy issues. The main concern is with regard to data protection. And recently Reserve Bank of India also allowed the use of OTP in KYC process for account opening for the accounts where amount of transactions does not exceed certain limit. Now OTP is also allowed, this eKYC is also allowed for account opening through one time password. And recently there was the case of misuse, And now Unique Identification Authority of India, as I have already told you, this is the nodal authority for issuing Aadhaar numbers, and UIDAI stated that there has been no incidence of misuse of Aadhaar biometrics leading to identity theft and financial loss. Here UIDAI is responsible for Aadhaar in the country, and recently it is stated that there is no case of identity theft and financial loss. However, a breach of Aadhaar data was reported after UIDAI sent a notice to 3 firms for possible unauthorized authentication attempt and storing of biometric data unauthorizedly. So, this is all history. So, crux of the matter is, as per Aadhaar Act, there are some provisions to maintain confidentiality, but there are some issues which cropped up recently because some persons have used, or you can say misutilized Aadhaar for doing a number of transactions. Even hundreds of transactions were done within few days by misutilizing the data. So, here the editorial strongly feels this is the time to bring in a tougher privacy law. The Aadhaar Act is not enough to prevent misuse. We have seen clause 29(4), and there are some clauses which impose penalties. So, leave that, and here the existing clauses in Aadhaar are not enough to prevent the misuse. So, here most people love to see fish swim about inside a glass aquarium. Glass aquarium, you have seen, all of you are familiar with the glass aquarium. This is glass aquarium, and everyone would like to see the fish inside glass aquarium. We are very happy. In fact, people love to see most people love to see fish swim about inside a glass aquarium. Few would enjoy the prospect of trading places with the fish. What is the meaning of trading places? Changing the positions. Here trading places, I gave an example. Trading places with someone is to exchange positions or places with someone. So, trading places with someone means to exchange the positions, and we are enjoying the fish inside aquarium. Or would you like to exchange places with fish? Would you like to sit inside aquarium? You are enjoying by seeing the fish, but would you like to sit inside aquarium? Few would like to trade the places with fish. So, here you see, by requesting my co-passenger, I traded places so as to sit near the window. So, I exchanged the places. So, here the question is, everyone would like to enjoy fish inside the aquarium, but how many of you would like to change places with the fish? Fish will come outside, you will sit inside. Do you agree? Very few would agree for that. But that possibility is very much on the cards, with the government making Aadhaar mandatory for an increasing number of functions. But that possibility, trading places, that means you will be kept in the aquarium. Everyone will be watching at you and enjoying your presence inside the aquarium. So, the matter here is, now more and more schemes are coming under mandatory usage of Aadhaar, and here lot of data is generated. What you are doing, what are your food habits, where are you going, what are you watching, all this will be under the lens of somebody. So, tomorrow you will become inside the aquarium, because more and more services are being made mandatory with Aadhaar. There is no privacy law in this country, your privacy cannot be protected, then your position will become like a fish sitting inside the aquarium or swimming inside the aquarium. So, the point to make here is, Aadhaar is extended to several schemes, that is fine, But the point is, what about confidentiality? What about privacy law? What is the guarantee that this information is not misused by some person, some organization? So, that is all the questions thrown in this article. So, here government is making mandatory, and privacy means basically legal requirement to protect a customer or a client's privacy. The legal requirement, India does not have this privacy policy, and it is a must nowadays, because more and more are coming for digital transactions, and nowadays everything is going virtual, right from education right up to health. Under these circumstances, privacy policy is a must. So, privacy policy means it fulfills a legal requirement to protect a customer or client's privacy, right. So, let us leave this paragraph and let us go to the next paragraph. Mandatory, I told you already, mandatory means must be done because of law of the land. Mandatory is used when something must be done because of law of the land. It is mandatory to obey traffic signals. Now, the next paragraph says the government needs to put in place a strong privacy law. Government needs to put in place a strong privacy law. I have already explained what is meant by privacy law, to prevent such piscine transformation of Indians and to protect their privacy recognized by anyone sane as a necessary condition of life and liberty. Privacy is must for life and liberty. Privacy is must. You are increasing this Aadhaar transactions to one after the other. When one after the other your record is tracked everywhere, where is privacy? Hence, the need is privacy policy. Because of the reason, the democracy demands the life and liberty must be protected. Freedom to life, freedom to liberty, all are hallmarks of our constitution. Any sane person will say that it is a necessary condition for life and liberty, that is protecting your privacy. Protecting your privacy is a must, or you can say necessary condition to protect life and liberty, or you can say to prevent encroachment into your lives by unauthorized persons. So, the government needs to put in place a strong privacy law to prevent such piscine transformation of Indians. Piscine transformation, why he used is, piscine means it is resembling a fish. He gave one example of aquarium. So, who would like to sit inside a aquarium? When our day-to-day lives are tracked by the government or tracked by some private persons, where is freedom for us? Where is freedom of life? Where is freedom of liberty for us? So, the question here is, without proper privacy law, don't extend to almost all the services government is extending now. Please don't extend them to each and every service. If you want to extend, please bring tough privacy law, otherwise Indians will transform into piscine transformation. That means what we have seen in the first example, that is resembling a fish. The government needs to put in place a strong privacy law to prevent such piscine transformation of Indians. Indians will become totally just like the people inside the aquarium, fish inside the aquarium, you can say. And to protect their privacy, recognized by anyone sane as a necessary condition of life and liberty. What is the meaning of sane? Sane means a reasonable person or sensible person. Any reasonable person, any sensible person will say that freedom to life, freedom to liberty, freedom to privacy is the most important. So, please bring privacy policy first, then implement this to all the services, there is no problem. But please protect our privacy, please protect our life, please protect our liberty. freedom, everything must be protected first, because what happens when more and more services are brought under Aadhaar, it creates totally a record of our life, our behavior, our day-to-day life, where we are going, what we are doing, all this will be recorded somewhere, and it is totally available even after 20 years, 30 years. So, a sane discussion is the need of the hour to eliminate tuberculosis by 2025, because government stated that tuberculosis will be eliminated by 2025. So, sane is basically reasonable or sensible, having a healthy mind or not mentally ill, right. The Aadhaar law has some provisions to prevent its misuse, but that is not enough. As I have already told you, it has got some clauses, but they are not sufficient to prevent the misuse. Authentication of a person's identity. Authentication means the process of proving something to be true. Authentication means if something is authenticated, that means it is true, it is valid, it is genuine. So, everything, all the qualities will be there. So, authentication means somebody is certifying it as true, genuine or valid. So, authentication of a person's identity using Aadhaar should be only after securing consent in a fashion that leaves a clear, inviolable record. In a fashion, consent is to be taken for the implementation of Aadhaar. That means the person's identity using Aadhaar should be only done after the person's content. This word appears to be wrong, let us look into it. Consent in a fashion that leaves a clear, inviolable record. What is the meaning of inviolable? Inviolable means never to be broken, dishonored, or you can say that must be respected, that is inviolable. So, I gave one example. As per the Indian Constitution, right to liberty is inviolable and sacred right. So, inviolable means that must be respected, never to be broken, infringed or dishonored. So, here authentication of a person's identity using Aadhaar should be only after securing his/her consent. I got this. His/her consent in a fashion that leaves a clear, inviolable record. The technology and protocols required to ensure this would appear to be inadequate. At present, the technology and protocols required to ensure this appears to be inadequate. So, the point here is, please take the consent, put the technology in place, put the protocols in place, and please take the consent, then only you have to take authentication through Aadhaar, right. So, the next one is beyond authentication. At present, it is being used for authentication, that means the genuinity of a person, you are so and so, that is authentication. Beyond authentication, the very tagging of an increasing number of activities with Aadhaar, because as I have already told you, this Aadhaar is tagged with the number of activities: getting scholarship, getting admission, getting PAN card, then filing income tax returns, getting LPG subsidy. Like that, it is extended to several activities. Now, it paves the way, we have already discussed. Paves the way means it creates the circumstances, or it will create the circumstances for something to happen, or it enables something to happen. So, it paves the way for not just the state playing big brother. What is the meaning of big brother? Big brother means the person or organization who takes total control. In India, our politicians sometimes acts like big brothers. The person or organization exercising total control over the people's lives is a big brother attitude. several times we come across this word. Big brother attitude is somewhat some traits of dictator also. So, without giving freedom, who controls the lives of some people is known as a big brother. In our country, in several villages, landlords behave like big brothers, and this undermines democratically developed Panchayat Raj institutions in the country. So, all of you are familiar, in rural areas, landlords behave like big brothers. So, let us come back to the passage. The passage says, it is being tagged to several things, Aadhaar, and it enables the states, paves the way means it enables the state to play big brother role. Why he used big brother for the state? The state means government. Why he used big brother for the government? Because government will come to know about your each and every action. Which movie you are watching, which hospital you are going, and what you are eating, entire information can be tracked by the government. So, government can play the role of a big brother and it watches whatever you do. Is it desirable? Government knowing everything, it is against the personal liberty and freedom. So, here not just the state playing big brother who watches whatever you do, but also of private companies seeking to map consumers' behavior, health, financial status and states. Here two issues are involved. One is government is making Aadhaar mandatory for several things, because of which what happens, government can act as big brother to control your lives. And at the same time, private companies are there and they will know about you everything, about your health status, about what you are eating, what are your tastes, what is your financial status. All these will be known to the private organizations, and it create an information asymmetry prejudicial to not just the consumer interest but also individual liberty, right. So, it will create information asymmetry prejudicial, harmful. Prejudicial means asymmetry means lack of symmetry. Example I have given. To see an obvious example of asymmetry, just look at your hands. So, asymmetry is equality or equivalence between parts or aspects of something. So, here asymmetry means it is a lack of. Please understand, it is not equality, it is a lack of equality. Please understand, it is a lack of equality or equivalence between parts or aspects of something. So, it will create information asymmetry which is prejudicial. Prejudicial means harmful to something, harmful to someone, right. So, it will create information asymmetry which is prejudicial or harmful. And this was not envisaged. Envisaged means a desirable future event. I gave one example. We are yet to reach the stage of eliminating poverty as envisaged by the founding fathers of the country. Envisaged means conceived, thought of as a possibility. That is the meaning of envisage, right. So, please get back to the paragraph. Here the paragraph says, here to create an information asymmetry harmful to not just consumer interest but also individual liberty. The National Health Policy 2017 envisages extensive data gathering on health care and more information on your food habits, on your movies, on your education, whatever you are doing, wherever you are going, everything is tracked by the center that will act as big brother, and at the same time private companies will have access to your priority information. So, therefore, private companies may use this data for their benefit. That is why it is called information asymmetry, which is harmful to the consumer interest but also individual liberty. At the same time, the National Health Policy 2017 also talking about this sensitive data gathering on healthcare, extensive data gathering on healthcare. So, extensive data gathering is envisaged, is planned by the national health policy, right. Portability of medical records, what the national health policy says? National health policy says portability of medical records. So, each and every individual's medical record will be available in the cloud, it will be stored in the cloud. So, portability of medical records is one of the traits of this national health policy. So, portability of medical records by storing them in the cloud. Cloud, of course, all of you know the first meaning. Second meaning is a computer network where files and programs can be stored. So, national health policy says medical records will be stored in the cloud and they would be of great use and convenience. No doubt that is a valid point, but if the data can be accessed by people, you see it is talking about data privacy. If the data has no privacy, or you can say if that data can be accessed by the people who have no business to, that would be a major problem. If it goes into the hands of the people who have nothing to do with your health records, then it will create problem. It would be worse if the data is tagged by Aadhaar. It would be still worse if the data is tagged by Aadhaar and the medical data is correlated with the financial data also tagged by Aadhaar. So, correlation of medical data with Aadhaar, correlation of financial data with Aadhaar. So, correlating everything, that will be still worse, since payments above a limit would need income tax department's PAN card to be shown, and since PAN has to be mapped to Aadhaar, access to Aadhaar data can potentially lead to access to individual's payments history. So, the crux of the paragraph is Aadhaar will be linked to PAN, Aadhaar will be linked to medical records, Aadhaar will be linked to income tax returns, Aadhaar will be linked to bank account. So, everything will be linked. So, individuals entire financial data, entire payment data, your style of living, your accessing various services, everything can be tracked by the central government or state government. That is why it is stated as big brother. Similarly, lot of data is created and some persons which have nothing to do with your personal life may have access to your data. So, these two are dangerous. That is why this editorial strongly argues, please go for privacy law first, right. Then there are online privacy issues unrelated to Aadhaar. Then there are, at the same time, there are several online privacy issues are there unrelated to Aadhaar. The European Union has assured, 28-member European Union assured its citizens that they have the right to be forgotten online. That means, when you are doing something online, no one else can have access to your data. So, it is as good as you are forgotten online. So, India needs such a law immediately before extending all these things to various services. Such a right needs a firm legal basis in India as well. In India also, such a right needs a firm legal basis. Any law, of course, is only as good as its enforcement. Not only law, but its enforcement is also most important. So, the crux of the matter is, we are generating lot of data, everything is linked to Aadhaar. So, governments can act as big brothers, that is one problem. Second problem is, private organizations can have access to your private data. So, where is the life to freedom? So, where is the freedom especially. So, that is the question being asked with regard to freedom of life and expression here. Your lives will come under the surveillance of both the governments as well as the private parties, which is not the thing which is in fact not envisaged by the founding fathers of the constitution also, right. So, the essence of the editorial is, please create strong privacy law, right. So, with this let us conclude today's discussion of this comprehension, and tomorrow, as I have already told you, a timely step. This is with regard to state owned banks told to submit turnaround plans should strive to address their NPS. These things we are going to deliberate tomorrow. Have a nice day. Thank you. Thanks a lot.